This episode of Dakota Destinations is presented by Schooneman Equipment Company.
There's a fish on. Here it comes. Oh yeah! Woo! Oh, good fish, good fish. That's what we're looking for right there. Welcome to Dakota Destinations. I'm your host, Dan Hammer. Over the next 2 months, we'll take you to some spots across the Dakotas you may have never visited, maybe never even heard of. We'll also take you to some spots you may have spent some time in with the outdoors. It's going to be a lot of fun. We debut this year's show here in Williston, North Dakota, and when you think of Williston, you think of one thing: oil. And for good reason. It's home to the Bakken Formation, one of the richest oil-producing areas in all of the United States. There are currently more than 8,000 working wells here in the Bakken Formation. Over the next 2 decades, that's expected to grow to 40,000. And next to Texas, North Dakota leads the nation in oil production. Well, when you also think of Williston, North Dakota, you think of fishing, and you think of this body of water, the Missouri River, along with the nearby Yellowstone River. The two combine to produce some of the most unique opportunities in the area: paddle fishing. It's the opening morning of the 2013 season, just after 8 o'clock Central Time, and we're in one of the most popular spots. This is the confluence. It's the intersection of the Yellowstone and the Missouri River. And this area, as you can see, up and down the banks, is a popular spot as paddle fishermen come here looking to snag that big paddlefish. What is it about paddlefish that draws thousands of people to northwestern North Dakota each spring? It's a number of things. The chance to take a large prehistoric fish. The chance at a style of fishing that is unique to paddlefish. The chance at standing on this rocky shoreline knowing at any moment a freshwater fish weighing as much as 120 pounds could be on the end of your line. Whoa, here she comes. All right, Byron here has been fishing paddlefish since he figures about the early 70s, and this is such a different style of fishing. Some people call it combat fishing.
Yeah.
There's no finesse here.
No, there's nothing pretty about it. No special knots, no worried about, smelling anything or anything.
Right.
It's just, combat fishing is really the best way to explain it.
And
really.
it's snagging. It's not angling. It's snagging. It all just starts with what's about a 5-ounce
5-ounce sinker.
weight here.
Yeah.
Yep.
8 to 10-aught hook, treble hook.
Yep.
Tie it up, and then it's just hard work and determination.
Yeah, and let her rip.
Yeah.
And the rest of your equipment?
This is about a 12-foot rod.
Yep.
Got a Okuma open face spinning reel.
Right.
I'm running about 40-pound test here. You'll see 25-pound test is pretty light. You'll see some guys will run as high as 50-pound test line. Mm-hmm. You run that lighter line, you can cast a little further, you get a little more distance. But you got to be a lot more finesse or a little carefuler when you get one hooked. It can be a lot of hard work. I mean, you come up here, spend a lot of hours beating the water, and sometimes you come up here, do this for 2 or 3 days and never catch one.
Right.
Come back, maybe come back next year, spend an hour or two doing it, and you get lucky and you got one on the bank. So,
right.
I guess it's just the adrenaline of finally catching one. You think 60 to an 80-pound fish in a big river like this out there in the current.
We moved to another location, another popular location on the river. This is called the Pump House area, and we're with a guy who says he's been paddle fishing for as long as he can remember, basically. Jay Wells is busy here trying to call up a paddlefish. Jay, like I said, you've been fishing paddlefish forever, right?
Yeah, as long as I can remember. My dad and I started fishing paddlefish when we would, before there was really even a season on them. We would come down and even fish them from a boat many years ago when it was legal. So yeah, I can't remember not fishing them, I guess. It's been a blast.
You got it in your blood.
Yeah, it's kind of like a family thing, but.
Yeah. So what is it about that most thrilling?
Yeah, when you finally do hook one, it's a lot of work when you cast and you're reeling in and casting and reeling in, and the wind and the rain and the sunburn and everything else.
Yeah.
But when you finally catch one and you reel it in and get it on shore and see what it looks like, and then that's all worth it.
I would imagine through your years and through your fishing, you fished a lot of different stretches of this river, haven't you?
Yeah, the pump house all the way up to the confluence. It's just been a little bit of everything. Certain areas are closed down that you can't fish by the pipeline crossing and such, but in this pump house area, and the confluence seems to be the best, and we've always had really good luck here.
There are just two varieties of paddlefish in the entire world. One can be found in China, the other found in 22 states in North America. And this area of the Missouri and Yellowstone River near Williston, North Dakota, holds one of the larger populations of paddlefish in all of North America.
Paddlefish resource right here has been here for forever, of course. Paddlefish are extremely old fish, but what makes it unique in this area is the combination of Lake Sakakawea, which is really good habitat for adults and for fish that are feeding and growing, and it's also have the Yellowstone and Missouri rivers that are still pretty good sections of a relatively undisturbed river that are allowed for good spawning habitat too. So a lot of places where paddlefish still exist, their spawning habitat has been pretty much dammed up or diked or channelized. Here we have both. We have spawning habitat and good rearing and adult habitat. So it's got a little bit of the best of both worlds here.
Paddlefish can live up to 60 years, with females living longer than males. Most of the larger fish, those 50 pounds or more, are females as young as 15 and as old as 40. Most of the smaller fish, 40 pounds or less, are males averaging 20 years. Coming up next on Dakota Destinations on our paddlefish adventure, we'll tell you what part of these paddlefish are marketed worldwide.
Dakota Destinations, presented by Schuneman Equipment Company.
You know, there is a part of this paddle fishing that's tied into tradition, and Jeff Toohey right here is part of that tradition. Jeff, you've been paddle fishing a long time. Tell us about that.
Yeah, my dad got me started when I was about 16. We used to go up to Glendive all the time and fish up there, and it's carried on from there. Now my wife got her doing it, and now my kids are all doing it, and we have a blast, kind of a family vacation.
You passed on the tradition.
Yep. You bet.
What does your family like about it? What do you like about it? And it's work.
It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of camaraderie, meeting people, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You know, the kids all enjoy getting out. We get everybody together. That's the main thing.
Which is tough to do these days.
Yep.
For any family.
Yep. Get everybody together in one place is hard to do when they live in Devil's Lake. Most of our kids live in Fargo. Our other two, our daughter and our son. So, but yeah, we got everybody going doing it.
Paddle fishing is a Toohey family affair. Joining Jeff at the confluence is his wife Colleen, their daughter Celicia, and their son Dan and his wife Jess, along with two friends of the family. The Tooheys will spend the entire first 5 days of the season camping near the river, sharing paddlefish stories and making new memories. Less than an hour into the season, Dan is the first to tussle with a paddlefish. You got yourself into a paddlefish here, Dan.
Yeah. Oh.
Running on you a little bit?
Yeah, he won't, just keeps wanting to go downstream. I don't know. He feels pretty good, but I've been made into a liar before.
Now, you've been doing this a few years.
Yeah, I'll bet you 10 plus years now.
Yeah.
Since I was probably 16 or 17.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
Well, this part right here.
Right here.
This is the best part. It's really nice is I got skunked last year.
Did you really?
Yeah. So first day.
This is even sweeter then.
Yeah.
First day, first hour. Where'd you snag it?
Right under the gill
Right there.
That's where you gaffed him? Okay.
snagged right under the plate here somewhere. Sweet.
Real little eyes, don't they?
Yeah, not much to them.
Whose knife? Oh, here he's okay. All right, down. Yep, I see Jess. I can do it.
So this is your first one in a couple of years. How many paddlefish have you caught, Dan? Any idea?
I'll bet you're close to 8.
Yeah?
The 10 years I've been doing it.
Okay.
My biggest was 85 pounds. That was 2 years ago.
What's this thing go, 40?
I bet you he's pretty close to 40, maybe.
Yeah.
He's got kind of a deformed fin here, it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Different.
Yeah. After a couple of Kodak moments, Dan will take his fish upshore to the cleaning station. But before he does, he explains some of the unique features of this toothless fish that does not feed on bait fish.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, right here in our old backyard, we got a fish that's rare, you know.
Look in there. They actually swim around with their mouths open when they go through there, and they filter the plankton and whatever's in the water through these gills. Pretty neat.
Dan's season comes to an early end. He's one of the first fishermen to harvest part of the season quota of 1,000 fish. Other members of the family stay with it, cast after cast, hour after hour. But shortly after some bad luck, Dan's wife Jessica stinks a fish. So now you married into a family here that is crazy about paddle fishing. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about that. Did you expect this? When you told Dan, yes I will, yes I do, did you know what you were getting into?
No.
No.
Forced to fish.
We're sealing it boil. Put your footing there. Oh, we gotta look at the paddle. Hubby's down there gaffing it. Hopefully he doesn't mess it up. Honey, it all started going downhill when you couldn't gaff my paddlefish. It's flopping quite a bit. There you go, Jessica.
It's not always all about getting fish. They always give me guff because I'm usually the first one to get my fish every year.
You're the guide.
But not this year. So
No.
last year my daughter got hers first, and then I got mine. But now Dan got his. So we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah. Isn't it cool that a lot of us are lucky to have dads who kind of introduce these type of things and pass on?
Yep. It'd be nice if there was more of it. Not just the fishing part, but the outdoorsy stuff, with camping and just getting kids out.
Snagging a paddlefish is just part of the story that takes place each spring near Williston. A pilgrimage of fishermen walk toward the North Star Caviar cleaning station. It's here they donate their eggs of their paddlefish in exchange for the fish being cleaned. The fish are measured and weighed. Tags are collected for continuing research. It's also here the paddlefish are put on a conveyor belt, sent inside a secure building, and stripped of their eggs for caviar to be marketed worldwide. June Sheeks is operations manager for North Star Caviar. This is a pretty unique operation.
It is.
North Star Caviar. Give us an overview.
And who would have thought that it would have been in northern North Dakota? About 20 years ago, the company was formed. It's owned half by the Chamber of Commerce and half by the Friends of Fort Union and Fort Buford. And they saw an opportunity here. The caviar was, people were catching the fish. The caviar was being taken out and left beside the river. And
discarded.
Right, it was discarded, and they saw an opportunity here to make some money. It's a not-for-profit organization, so all of the money goes back to the community, and it supports resource-related operations, recreational, community operations. So 100% of the profit of the company goes back to the community.
Right. So out of nothing came something, really.
Yes,
and it continues to produce revenue, continues to serve a market worldwide, and continues to do some good right here in the Williston area.
Exactly. Our market, we sell probably 50% domestically. Well, let me back up. We sell 100% domestically. We don't sell anything overseas as of right now. About 40 to 50% of the product that we sell goes to wholesalers, and restaurants that are here in the United States.
Many consumers across the world have acquired a taste for North Star caviar. But for this storyteller, a taste test was in order. I am not a caviar eater, but in the spirit of North Dakota, this is my first try of paddlefish caviar.
Ready?
You know, that's not bad.
That's awesome.
That is not bad. We weren't the only ones taste testing on this day. Trenton, North Dakota grade schoolers on a field trip sampled the delicacy while learning about the paddlefish adventure. More and more people are showing an interest in paddle fishing. The number of licenses sold are increasing. What does that mean for possible future changes and regulations? That's next on Dakota Destinations.
Dakota Destinations, presented by Schoenemann Equipment Company. Dakota Destinations, presented by Schoenemann Equipment Company.
Welcome back to Dakota Destinations. This is Fort Union Trading Post near Williston. It was the most important fur trading post along the upper Missouri River for nearly 4 decades back in the 1800s. It was a hub of activity, peaceful economic activity between Plains Indians and the white culture. What does Fort Union have to do with paddle fishing? We told you about the North Star Caviar Company and the sale of caviar worldwide. Part of the revenue from the sale of that caviar is gone back into the community here in Williston to nonprofit organizations like Fort Union.
They had 100 employees here, plus wives and children, and you'd have up to 5,000 Indians camped around the fort ready to do their shopping, so to speak. So 5,000 customers.
So who ran it?
American Fur Company. We always say this is where John Jacob Astor got his money to buy Manhattan.
Huh.
And we tell folks on the West Coast this is Plan B after Astoria failed economically.
So what on a normal day, take us back then.
All right.
On a normal day, what would be going on in here?
Okay, well, you'd have your craftsmen would be manufacturing items. They had sheds like these scattered all about the fort. We only have 2 of them rebuilt. We don't even know how many they had. If you're a carpenter, a tinsmith, a gunsmith, a blacksmith, a tailor, clerk, trader, hunter, you, your tools, and your family have a shed that size to live in.
Fort Union is one of several programs in the Williston area benefiting from the sale of North Star caviar.
First 25% of the profit goes to Game and Fish for them to continue their research and make sure that that the resource doesn't get exhausted. The remaining 75% is we sit down and we have a grant meeting, usually in March, and people send in grants. They can send them in online or they can send them to me. We take all those grants, put them together, and we sit down with a board of 10 people, with the North Star board as well as other community members. And we sit down and we decide, we identify how much money we have, and we identify how it's going to get distributed.
We're seeing some of the paddlefish now, being entered into the house in which the fish will be clean and the caviar will be harvested. The fish that we're looking at right now, how soon will they end up in a 5-star restaurant?
I'm sending, normally we freeze the product first. I have got 8 pounds unfrozen being sent to New York City that will be distributed in restaurants immediately. So I'm going to send that to him next week, next Tuesday.
So that's very fresh.
And I would say, oh yeah, and I would say that'll be on somebody's plate in another week. So, and that's the freshest that we get it out.
Because of its uniqueness, paddle fishing is monitored closely. Whether it's the thrill of the catch, the marketability of the caviar, or the programs that benefit, there's a commitment to protect the resource.
We think the population increased substantially when Sakakawea first filled back in the 60s, and so the population appeared to have gone well over 100,000 fish at that time. And now that Sakakawea is in place and aging, it's not quite as valuable or productive as it was then. And so we've got fewer numbers. We think probably about 50,000 adult fish out here, probably 30 or 35,000 fish that actually make the run up into the river here to spawn every year. And so the numbers are down from what they were maybe 30 years ago, but on the other hand, we think that those numbers were much higher than historically. So we still have a fairly good population. We're concerned about recruitment. We don't have a lot of recruitment every year. The 1995 year class has just been spectacular, so that's really a big part of the population right now. In 1976, we allowed snagging for the first time and then didn't do much to monitor the season or the activity, but the locals in Williston that started at that time said they'd come out here. It was a poor gravel road out here, or a dirt road, and they'd get stuck coming out here. There was only a handful of people that participated. So we went from almost a non-existent fishery when it first started to now it's tremendously popular. So we sell about 3,500 tags every year on average. We get over 3,000 snaggers out here every year, and it's really a popular event, even though it's short term.
In its simplest form, paddle fishing is supply and demand. The demand is growing. The season quota of 1,000 remains the same, but fishery managers caution change could be on the horizon. Legislation passed last spring allows the Game and Fish Department to use a lottery system to issue tags. But the department is waiting at least a year to make a final decision.
We're thinking about a lottery system for a snag and harvest tag next year because, again, there's a lot of demand. We think of paddlefish as almost like a mule deer buck. It's just there's not enough resource out there to support all the demand for people that want to snag and harvest a paddlefish. So we're looking at a lottery. We're taking input in terms of the season and actually pros and cons, whether people would like it or not like it, and then the specific regulations we haven't formulated yet. So there's a lot to be decided between now and October or November when we were going to get into the new proclamation cycle.
Even if changes are implemented, it's not likely to curb the enthusiasm anglers have for a chance to take this fish that dates back to prehistoric times. The season has become a rite of spring around these parts, drawing fishermen from hundreds of miles. For many, it's a tradition. Others seek the thrill for the first time. And each year, as these water beasts make their spawning run up the Missouri River, they are sure to be met by an allegiance of anglers lining the shore.